What up, YouTube? It's your boy Sam Abush. You know the vibes now out there. Hey,
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, today we're gonna be talking about pain. Chinese ass. I'm serious today, and I hope you all enjoy this content. Like it will really save a lot of y'all, save a lot of us actually, because this pain thing is really something we ignore, you know. But we gonna help y'all understand it. We gonna break it down. Stay tuned.
easy.
What's up, YouTube? Today we're gonna be speaking about human pain. You know, I feel like it's something we all go through, and today we're gonna try break it down and help you all dissolve pain.
Yeah.
So
So we're gonna start with ego identification with the body. So ego identification body with the body, pain body basically is like you having to understand the pain that you're going through instead of experiencing the pain in general. Understand what you're going through. Because there's an inner feeling that will always force you to resist the pain that you go through and will lead you to live an unhappy life. So this inner feeling only allows you to only experience it. Instead, what you should do is actually understand the pain. Because the more you understand the pain, the more you will see that this pain, and you will come to observe that the pain is attached to you. Once you start to observe the pain, that's when now you're in the present moment. Once you start to allow yourself to be in the present moment, pay attention to how it is attached to you and your emotions. Once you observe all those two, now you can obviously pay attention, bring yourself to the present moment, and just work on it. Also, understand the resistance will cease if you make it conscious. So once you make it conscious, it will start to resist. Make sure that you don't actually break down the pain, because the more you work on the pain, the more you break it down, the more you understand it. So it is better you take your attention into your pain body, and now you work on it.
so from my side, be prepared for both statements. You know, we're not here to tell you rehab. It's
No.
different stuff. So my topic is create no pain in the present moment. So the greater part of human pain is unnecessary. Now, why do I say it is? It is created by the unobserved mind. So your mind, basically. So the unobserved mind, the mind, and the ego. When I mentioned these three terms, we're speaking about the same thing. So the best way to be able to, unidentify from it is just be present. But let me explain it more, So the intensity of your pain depends on how strongly linked you are to your mind, right? So the more linked you are to your mind, the more there's an accumulation of pain. And so that accumulation of pain, sometimes, even when you think about it, there are certain times where, you can annoy someone and then like it's such a big thing. But it's not that. It's just because the pain was accumulated from years ago.
Yes.
They weren't able to dissolve it, right?
Yes.
And so, in other words, the more you're identified with your mind, the more you suffer. And so, I'm sure you're asking, okay, how do I unidentify from the mind? Firstly, is for you to just be in the present moment. And how do you do that? Surrender to it. Say yes to life, and you'll see all of a sudden how life starts to change for you. Sure, sometimes the present moment can be awful, but again, you want to stay into it and watch it, because the more you judge it, the more you analyze it, is the more your unhappiness and your pain grows, right? Because that's the only way it grows, it is through analyzing and judging. Just feel it, watch it, be the watcher and don't be the analyst. Just watch it. So watch how every single thing goes, and then you'll see how the pain will dissolve, and will stop you from you just accumulating the pain. Because at the end of the day, when you stay present, it is called being, right? It is called a level of consciousness, because this being is basically a gift from God. It's how you look at it as peace, joy, happiness. This is in you. You don't have to get on your car to be happy. You don't have to look other way besides yourself. God made you rich already. You are rich already. So the only way to access this is to stay present. Don't judge it, don't analyze it, just watch.
Yes.
And it will dissolve.
Origin of fear. Why we talk about fears regarding our pain in general. Because let's take it like this. Pain comes from being told or being threatened to be harmed or hurt by anything, to say, you know. But let's look at it like this. Fear is a psychological condition of being divorced from any concrete and true immediate danger. So examples of this would be tension, phobia, nervousness. Yeah, those are some examples that I can give. And then we look at such things of fear, something that might happen. Understand like this. Such things are fears of something that might happen, not something that is happening. Example. Okay? Here's one example. I feel like this is a good example, actually. I feel like it's a good example. You are in the here and now moment, while your mind is in the future.
That's how it always is. Yeah.
I hope you heard that.
And repeat it for those that flew over their head, my boy.
You are in the here and now moment, while your mind is in the future.
Yeah.
So be present. Practice to be present. And understand, fear will always push your mind and your emotions to be, in the past.
Because fear is not part of being. It's not God's gift.
Yes, it's some things that have happened in your past time, not some things that are happening, but something that have happened. So here's another one. Actually, you can always cope with the present moment, but you cannot cope with the future. See, those two go hand in hand. Mind is always in the future. You can always cope with the present. So it's important to be in the present moment, because you cannot cope with the future. And then if we go on, ego. Ego is another example of fear. Why? It's because the ego is very vulnerable and insecure.
It's a fake sense of self.
True. To add on to that, ego is also like an illusory identity, an image in your mind in a fictitious entity.
Okay.
See? So this is like this is someone who has a certain image of themselves made up in their mind. And understand this. The ego, as we said, is vulnerable and insecure. Understand that to the ego, exactly. Ego is like, the reason why it's fearful is also because death is always around the corner. Which then brings fear. Yeah.
So my topic will be past pain and dissolving the body pain, So as long as you are unable to access the power of now, and actually this is where we got the inspiration from, the power of now.
Oh yeah.
The book, So as long as you're unable to access the power of now, every emotion that you feel will start to accumulate from the past, like I said, and you gotta understand this, right? Pain body, this is a way to explain it. Pain body is when your pain starts pretending to be you. It's when you actually want more pain, because that's the only way it grows. But let me tell you the truth. Ego, the unobserved mind, they are scared of consciousness. They are scared of the light, because the only thing it feeds off is pain. So I'm sure like people who are depressed can like also vouch for this, as in to say the main thing is like they try to feed off the pain. So when there's more pain, they keep wanting to go. They keep wanting to let it grow. And so the pain body, understand this, it is afraid of consciousness. And sure, it will try to fool you and make you feel like, you know what, you can't get away from me. You can't get rid of me. But again, try to be in the present moment, because it will try to trick you. So if you can understand this, excuse me, then you'll be able to access the power of now. And through the pain body, illnesses, accidents, that's where they happen the most, because you haven't processed the pain, And so a little sort of unhappiness in your life from now on, just try to acknowledge it. Example, irritation, impatience, a somber mind, a desire to hurt, anger, depression, like I said, and a need to cause some drama in a relationship. These are signs of the pain body in your life, right? And so it's important to understand that the ego is a fake you. You know, it's always looking for happiness externally. It's not looking to express the gift of God. So that's the first thing you want to do. Just get rid of this, you know. And once you start to actually identify the pain body, right? Accept it first. And then you start to realize that it cannot use you anymore. It cannot be pretending like it's you anymore. You will stay you now, and the pain body will try to get back just a bit, but try to trick you again. Exactly. So when you stay in the present moment, that is when you feel like your happiness. I'll give you an example of a present moment, right? Look at it like maybe when you go to those who've been on a roller coaster, right? Like that amount of presence there is what makes it so fun. It is not the roller coaster itself; it's the presence. You're able to access the being, which is God's gift. Example, or when you what is it? When you fall from the sky and then bungee jumping as well. Yeah. That's also another way you access the power now. It's not the fact that you bouncing up and down, but it's because you have access being, which is God's gift, you know. So again, I'll give you another tip. Don't analyze it, don't judge it, just stay present. And this is a way to stay present, because at the end of the day, presence is consciousness. That's what you all need to understand. The ego search for wholeness. Another aspect of emotional pain can also come from this, feeling incomplete or a lack of something. When conscious, there is a feeling of you not feeling worthy or not good enough. But when it's unconscious, it'll be an indirect fact that, there's an intense look of craving, wanting, needing, And an example of that would be wanting money, recognition, a special relationship, so that you can finally feel whole, And people that get these things sometimes realize, this is not actually what will make me happy. It will give me freedom. It will give me a sense of, being able to pay for some certain bills, but it won't make me happy. And realize that it's a bottomless pit, So even when you obtain these things, you gotta realize that it's not a source of happiness, but a source of freedom in a way, Since the ego is a derived sense of self, it needs to identify with external things. So I want to leave you with one more quote. So it goes like this. Death is a stripping away of all that is not you. The secret of life is to die before you die and find that there is no death. So thank you all for watching this video. I hope it really helps. Try this for at least a week, and I'm telling you, there will be some sort of change. I also think you can do actually is to just close your eyes and think to yourself, what am I gonna do now? You'll realize that your mind won't think of anything because it's in the present moment, and your mind always tries to run away from the past and the future. So always, if you do that, you'll realize there'll be this little bit of sense of freedom, a little bit sense of peace, and you start to realize this. So like, share, subscribe to all the people going through a lot, man. We gonna figure this out. We gonna be better.
And try reading the book. The
Power of Now.
Yeah, shout out to that book.
Yeah,
that book, man. But anyways,
thank you. Share, subscribe.
Do other good things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we didn't do that basic stuff of rehab. But
it's
all in you, guys. Yeah. It's all in you.
So it's always within.
Yeah, God gave you a gift, a source of being, and so just stay true to it. So from the Big Steppers, we out.
We out. We're back at it again.
No.
Yeah.
Obviously that can't work.
That